Impact Athletics Association.
Okay, yep. And we're going to do a review of our workout today. So we had a really nice day outside. What do you think?
I think it was a very nice day. It was a little bit chilly. That's why we have on our hoodies and thicker, warmer pants.
Right. And this is a perfect example of like warming up not only the muscles but showing up warmed up. So when we talk about dressing in layers, so once we get warmed up, if we're too hot we can take those off, but this is a good way to just help the muscles get warmed up as we're moving around doing these arm circles and now some punches and stuff like that.
This is also a really good way to get the blood flowing before you do anything extreme.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason for that is it helps cut down on chances of getting injured, and it also just helps your muscle growth, like the progress, by having it loose, having the, like you said, the blood flowing through it and everything else. So that was why we went through these, even the shoulder rolls, the neck rolls, because of the exercise that we were doing. It can tense those areas up quite a bit, because you're building muscle, you're asking that muscle to work. So with what we were doing, I think that this was it warmed me up. How'd you feel?
It warmed me up really good too. And when I was moving around during the workout, I felt really loose. I felt really warmed up. Like I wasn't tense. My muscles weren't like cold. They were at the perfect temperature.
I agree, and being that we were in the sunshine helped as well, because there was a definite temperature difference when we were just walking to the field through the shade. It was a lot cooler. So once we got out into direct sunlight, and I don't think that the temperature today reached over 60 degrees, but being in direct sunlight definitely helped and made it feel good. So I'm glad that we took those moments to go through it, which is, I think that's important for a lot of people to remember, is to take the time to warm yourself up properly. And I think we got a little bit more here. And what are we putting on right now?
Now we're putting on some gloves so that way not only our hands can grip the grass in case it's a little bit wet, but also it protects our hands from little thorns in the grass.
Right. And these are the little things that you can have in your bag just to help be ready for all situations. So here we are on some jumping jacks.
And we're doing about 30 of these jumping jacks.
Yeah, and that's just another one to help the blood get flowing, the respiratory get a little, get the lungs going, and again, to warm up the shoulders, the core, the legs, everything that we really used throughout the course of this workout. So I think I'm there talking about why we're utilizing jumping jacks and things like that in order to have that range of motion for our hands and arms.
And now I'm getting ready to start my bear crawls.
Right.
And I start at the middle cone and I go forward, and then once I get to the next cone, I go sideways, and when I get to the second cone, I go sideways back to the first cone, and then once I get to the first cone, I go backwards to the starting cone.
Right. So you can illustrate that again. So here you are.
I'm going forward to the corner, and now I'm moving sideways. And once I get to the next cone, I'm going to go sideways again, but back to the direction that I was just coming from.
So that's happening right about now.
Now.
Yes.
Now I'm moving back the way I came.
And right there is the part where we're talking about bringing your feet forward a little bit so you're
Right.
not so spread out.
You want to be in sort of like a bent over, like a frog position, but not to the point where your knees can touch your arms.
Right. You don't want to be too crunched up, but you don't want to be too laid out. And there you are going backwards, which is great. Your configuration is a right angle, so it's a you went up, you went over, and then the reason you did it back is so on your side crawl, you got to go both to the left and then you go back to the right. That way we're working both directions. I'm doing the same thing, except mine is just a 10-yard difference. That's about it. And there again, I'm kind of illustrating a good technique for crawling, opposite hand, opposite leg. Don't spread yourself out. And it felt good. The one thing I was glad. Oh, there's another one. Not to twist too much.
Because if you twist, you can end up falling over, or you can put injury in the mix.
Yeah, you don't want to twist too much for a variety of reasons. But I think that all in all, we did a good job not twisting too much. I've seen people do a lot of twisting and stuff like that, and although it didn't hurt them, it's still, I think that there's just something about having a better form when it comes to that. My form actually there looks pretty good. I wasn't too sure how it was going to look, but I felt good going through it. My wrists felt good. So all the warming up that we did, and that is the first set down. So I think there was a little adjustment, but once you got going, let's see how it looks from the back. So butt moves back and forth a little bit, but I think that's pretty normal. I think mine did as well. So we're not built like actual animals and bears to walk straight forward.
And there I am going back to the right.
Nice job.
I agree. Nice job. And this is an easy one again. So you see my butt wagging back and forth too. But this is a good partner workout, and we could have done this at the same time and just set up two separate cone things. But I think it's nice to support one another and then just get through it, because it really wasn't a long set of much to do. I think we were both doing maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute worth of work. So here I come backwards, again, kind of backside moving back and forth. My feet are spread out a little bit more than I thought that they were. Okay, so this one, talk us through it, and you had a little bit of not a setback, but just a little bit of a challenge. So what was going on in this?
It was that my left knee was almost like spasming for a second. It was weird, but it was only for like a split second, but it sort of threw me off track completely.
Yeah, I see that, but you did a really good job to like overcome and just kind of keep going. So I know I was trying to talk you through it, and then we got to this part where again you just kept fighting. That's the beautiful part about that. But then tell me about this part where you had your head down.
I was almost trying to create my own backup camera, because I felt like if I couldn't see what was behind me, I felt like I was going to run into something or somebody.
Yeah, and that's tough because you'd really need to train the brain in order to do all of the things that we're asking it to do. So here I go, and I felt good on that, and just kind of, maneuvering through it. And, talking you through yours also helped me. So I can look at that and look at going sideways and think, well, maybe I could bring my feet closer. There's my oops moment. So I tossed it back and kept going, which actually gives me good ideas for like future bear crawl things, to be able to use one hand to move things. And then so that part I completely get now, because that's a really difficult thing, to put your head down, try to go backwards, and look under yourself. So all in all, fantastic job on your third. And let's check out what we have on the next one. And with jumping jacks, which I don't think we mentioned that we were doing the jumping jacks with each set. So we did 4 sets of 30 jumping jacks as well.
And 4 times 30, 120 jumping jacks in total.
Yep, 120. So that's a good accompaniment just to kind of keep the muscles warm while we're waiting for the next person and taking our break. Oh, okay, here's our last set.
Good start. Here we go. Nice. Boom.
And did you feel recovered from the third set
Yes.
going into this one?
Yes, I felt very confident in my last set because this was the set that wrapped the present all together, and I wanted this one to be really good.
Well, and I see you did the 10 yards all the way back, which was fantastic.
Oh, I actually didn't recognize that I was going all the way back. It felt a bit longer. I was like, am I sure the middle cone's right here? And then when I stopped, I looked down and I said, oh, I went backwards all the way.
Yeah, no, and you didn't struggle doing it, so I just thought maybe for your final set you wanted to do a little extra, but either way, it shows what you're capable of, and sometimes that's the important part is like when we don't realize what we're doing, but we're still doing it, and the fact that you did 10 yards is really cool. So next workout, maybe do the first 2 sets at the 5 yards, which you did most of the workout, and then try for 10 the next 2 just to kind of test yourself, or do 3 of the short and 1 of the long and build yourself up. But there we go. And yeah, we got to get you in there for the jumping jacks.
And that's the last set of jumping jacks to conclude to our 120 jumping jacks.
That's it. And guys, if you like the content, please subscribe, like, and share. And we're gonna wrap it up. So how do we sign out? HWPO, hard work pays off.
Impact Athletics Association.
Boom.